If you've been following the e-scooter market lately, you've probably noticed the flood of new models and styles hitting the shelves. And honestly, it can get a bit overwhelming to try to keep up with them. Some are built more for commuting, some for fun, and some just feel like the same thing with a different brand slapped on top. That's why whenever something genuinely new or a little different pops up, I get curious. This is the Ausom DT2 Pro scooter. This is set to be a rather big, powerful electric scooter with dual 52-volt motors, proper suspension, and a huge range of up to 115 kilometers. The DT2 Pro is one of those scooters that tries to strike a balance between performance and practicality. It's not the cheapest option out there, but for what you get, the price feels reasonable.
So the burning question is this product truly worth that asking price? Well, let's first start by unboxing it.
Now, taking it out the packaging, you can tell straight away this is no lightweight scooter. It does come mostly put together, you just need to tighten the bars and plug it in for charging. Everything is well protected in the box, so nothing's moving around, and the frame feels surprisingly sturdy. Much closer to a small motorbike than a fold-up scooter. I will say even little things like cable routing are tidy. There aren't wires dangling about to snag on anything, and the folding joint feels reinforced rather than flimsy. It is the kind of build you expect to last years with proper care, which is reassuring when you're investing in something this size and price. Now, getting started is simple. You just unfold it, lock it into place, power it on, and you're good to go. Now, folding it down is not exactly a lightweight scooter, as I keep saying. You can do it with one hand if you really need to, but you're going to feel the heft if you're carrying it upstairs or loading it onto a car. The upside is that once it is folded, the latch mechanism clicks into place really securely. To be fair, I've tried scooters before where the folding joint felt loose or like it might jiggle around when you pick it up. This one locks tight, so once it's folded, it stays put. So despite that weight, it has been built to be somewhat easier to carry. I just personally think it's just really not meant to be a portable option. It's simply too heavy for commuters who want to carry it everywhere with them. There just simply are much more portable options out there for much more cheaper. Now, the deck is pretty generous in size, coming in at just over 20 inches wide, which makes a noticeable difference when you're riding for longer stretches. You don't feel cramped or forced into one stance the whole time, and there's enough room to shift your feet around a bit, which is certainly nice if you're going for a longer commute. The grip on the deck is pretty good too. It's got that firm, textured finish that keeps your shoes planted without being overly harsh. Some scooters go overboard and feel almost like sandpaper, but this one, it's really not that bad. The 10-inch tubeless tyres definitely help with the overall confidence you feel while riding. They soak up little bumps and cracks in the road better than smaller, thinner wheels would. You don't get that jittery, teeth-rattling feeling every time you hit a patch of rough pavement. Plus, being tubeless means there's less chance of pinch flats, which is one less thing to worry about if you're using this scooter regularly. Now, a lot of cheaper models of these scooters simply use spring setups, or sometimes nothing at all when it comes to the suspension, so this does feel like a step up. The dual swing arm suspension isn't just for show, it actually looks rugged and gives off the impression that the scooter can take some real punishment. Riding over rougher patches of road, you can feel it working to smooth things out, instead of letting every bump travel straight up your legs. Let's be real, it doesn't make potholes disappear, but it definitely takes the sting out of cracks, uneven pavements, or those annoying raised sections of concrete. It does its job pretty well. The screen is nice and straightforward, which I do really appreciate. It's bright enough to see clearly even in the middle of the day, and it covers all the essentials: speed, distance, and battery life without cluttering things up with a bunch of extras I probably never use anyway. For me, that's perfect, because I'd rather glance at it quickly and get the information I need than have to be scrolling through menus while riding. The interface layout is simplistic and to the point, so even if you're new to e-scooters, it makes a lot of sense straight away. Nothing feels over-engineered here, and honestly, I like it. Now the dual charging points are a pretty practical touch, especially with a battery of this size. If you've only got the one charger, it's not the end of the world, you can still plug it in overnight and it will be ready to go by the morning. And to be honest, that's what I did most of the time, it just kept things simple. But if you can get your hands on a second charger and try using both ports at once, the difference is pretty noticeable, cutting that charge time down in half. It kind of makes a lot of sense if you're using the scooter every day for commuting or longer rides, since waiting 8 to 9 hours to fully top up isn't always realistic. Just having the option to use a second charger to cut that time down in half, well, it's certainly something you don't get with a lot of scooters in this market. The range is honestly one of the things that stood out to me the most. I've been using the scooter on longer commutes and even after a full ride, there was still a decent chunk of battery left. On my routes, which were a mix of flat roads, some hills and a fair amount of stop and go traffic, from lights and intersections, the battery never felt like it was struggling. For someone riding more moderately, steady pace, mostly flats, the 115km range they advertise actually seems pretty believable. I wasn't expecting it to be so close to that on real world use, but from my usage, it was actually pretty solid. Once you're riding, switching between single and dual motor modes is super straightforward. There's no fumbling around with complicated menus, just a quick press and you're in the mode you want. The throttle itself feels really responsive too. There's no noticeable lag or hesitation when you twist it, which makes the scooter feel more connected to your inputs. I actually found myself using both modes rather than sticking to one out of habit. For example, if I wanted to stretch the battery a bit, I'd flip it into single mode, and it was smooth enough for flat roads and light cruising. Then when I hit a hill or just wanted a bit of extra kick for fun, switching to dual motor was instant. I think that little flexibility changes how you ride. You're not stuck compromising between conserving battery and having enough power when you need it. With nearly 3000 watts peak coming from the dual motor, this scooter will surprise you in how quickly it gets up to speed. The acceleration is immediate enough that you don't feel like you're lagging behind when you start from a stop, even if you're merging onto busier streets. On my rides, I managed to hit around 68 km, which felt pretty fast for a scooter this size. You feel it launch when you hit the throttle. Even in single motor mode, it's surprisingly quick. But flick it into dual and there's an instant surge. For hill climbing, this is going to be brilliant, and I can't see it struggling at all. What caught me off guard though was how stable it feels in higher speeds. A lot of scooters start to wobble or feel twitchy once you push them past a certain point, but this one stays planted. Braking on this scooter is good too, and it really gives you confidence when you're riding faster or in traffic. The hydraulic brakes combined with the EABS feel like they've been tuned well. You can slow down quickly without that jolt that some scooters give you when the brakes grab too hard. It's smooth but firm, so you don't feel like you're going to pitch forward or lose control, even when stopping from higher speeds. This has some solid braking in my opinion. Now, all in all, I will start by saying it is a surprisingly versatile scooter. For the daily commuters, the folding system makes it possible to get it into the boot of a car. The speed and power are brilliant too, but they do mean you need to treat this scooter with a bit of respect. It's not really beginner friendly. Now, the Ausom DT2 Pro isn't trying to be a small lightweight city scooter. It's aimed at riders who want proper speed, strong suspension, and serious range in a package that feels like it can handle almost anything. It's a scooter that's just as happy on a long trip or steep climb as it is getting you across town. If you want something that goes beyond the basics and feels more like a machine built for adventure, the DT2 Pro does exactly that. In short, it's a scooter built for people who want to push further and ride harder. If you can live with the weight and respect the power, this scooter will give you one of the best rides in its class and price range.
And with that all being said, be sure to check this product out in the link in the description. Let me know what you think, and as always, Till next time.